Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. So we're coming to you fresh faced. So I've only got my skincare on. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a get ready with me using all my Project Pan items. I asked you a while back if you wanted to see it and you guys said that you did. So I'm here to please you guys and we're going to get into it. First of all, I'm just going to put some of this on my face. It's the Vitamin E Hydrating Mist. And I always do this. Oh, well that's woken me up for sure. Just bring you a bit closer. So, yeah, they're all in here. All the Project Pan items are in here. Right, so we don't have much primer left. This is the Japonesque Radiance primer that I've been using. I think this is just going to be the last use today because barely anything comes out of it. Even though I've got this product here, barely anything comes out. And normally I use a pore refining one as well, but I wouldn't say that's really in my Project Pan. It's the e.l.f. one I've got. And it's... let me just do this. Right, so the e.l.f. Putty Primer is the only one that I've got. I use my L'Oreal one up. So I wouldn't say that's in Project Pan, but I guess I'll be putting it in Project Pan this time around. Like I'll roll it into a Project Pan. And then when I'm nearly done with that, I'll have to buy a new one. So, that's the primer on. Right, what I want to do is I want to test this out. So if you watched my birthday gifts from Karen, you would have seen that she bought me the original beauty blender and I really want to test it out. I've never had one before, so I obviously need to go and dampen it. So it just says on here, beautyblender.com. Hang on a minute. What is it? What is it with people? They don't seem to know when not to call me. Right, so what was I saying? Yeah, I'm going to wet this sponge. So it just says wet sponge with water for each use, which we all know. Squeeze out excess liquid using a towel if necessary. Bounce your favourite blush or highlighter for a flawless finish. Hang on a minute then. So this isn't for foundation. It's for blush or highlight. That's quite good because I did think it was a bit small actually. So that's the size of it. I'll use it for blush. So actually I don't have any cream blushes, so we might not be using that today. So that's for blush or highlighter. I would have just used foundation for it. Right. So then I need to get my other sponge that I use all the time. Look at this, guys. I bought this in Poundland the other day and I thought it would be perfect for my beauty blenders to just have on the vanities. So cute. I'm going to spritz the sponge with quite a bit of this hydrating mist. Right, so if you remember, my Primark foundation was my Project Pan foundation. I've used it all up. So we're going to go in with this one. This is probably my second oldest foundation that I have in my collection, so it just makes sense to use it up. And I don't think there's a lot of and I don't think there's a lot of this Wet n Wild foundation left either. So let's put some on. I wouldn't say this is a perfect colour match either on me. It's too yellow based and quite clearly very, very cool toned. The perfect shade normally for me is porcelain, but even some companies get that wrong. Like I've got a Max Factor one in porcelain and it looks like it's ivory. This one is soft ivory and sometimes I mix it with a lighter shade, but today we're just going to put it on as is, and then we're just going to blend it out. It does blend into the skin. Yeah, there's not a lot in. I can tell there's not a lot in. So after this one, we're going to have to find another one that I want to use as a project pan foundation. I've got a bit on my forehead, haven't I? Okay, so I don't have a project pan concealer, so I've put one in here. I'm just going to use the combo that I use in my Shop My Stash. So we're going to go in with this Becca under eye brightener, and we're going to use this. Collection have come out with something similar, so when I've used it I'll probably buy the one from Collection, and I think Revolution have got one as well. I just use a tiny bit. Normally I go in with a brush, but I've actually washed my brush that I use. I washed 25 brushes today. Nowhere near enough. I have got so many brushes that I need to wash. And then I'm going to go in with this Body Collection concealer. It's in the shade Fair, I think. Yeah, Fair. I normally go in with a brush with this. I'm just going to use this. I bet that Beauty Blender would be good for concealer as well. But I'll do what it says. I'll use it for cream blusher or highlight. I think I've got a cream highlighter in the basket there, so I feel like we could test it out for that. Kind of want to give you a first impressions. Because it's overhyped, well, I don't know if it's overhyped, it's so much talked about, or it was when it first came on the scene, and that's how these came about, these kind of copies of the Beauty Blender, I would say. I do want to try it out. And I said to my friend Karen, who bought it for me, I'd give her my opinion so she could see it in this video. So if we can, I'm going to try it out today. Don't really want to pull from my Shop My Stash. I do have cream blushes there. This is all about the project pan today, guys. Right, yeah, I've got a cream highlighter here. We'll use that in a bit. I don't really like this setting powder, but we're going to use it. It's the Collection sheer loose powder. I think it's in translucent. No, one barely there. It's very good though for pores. So I just use a little bit of it. Just in my T-zone really. See, there's barely anything there. Normally I use a bigger brush, but I've not got all my brushes. And that's it for that anyway. Right, and then we have got the Chanel bronzer, which is my cream bronzer, which is in Project Pan. I'm not going to show you the progress of things, just purely because this is not everything in my Project Pan. This is why I'm showing you now, so I can do the update on the progress on the Project Pan items. So I think at this point it's about a week late, so I need to do it probably today really, or tomorrow at the latest. So this brush is just a Real Techniques one, kind of a duo fibre. It's the square foundation brush, guys. I just use it for bronzing up. Speaking of bronzer brushes, I really want the Patrick Tar contour brush. It looks amazing. Linka Makeup, if you're not following her, you should go and check her out. She's absolutely amazing. I love her content. See, I don't like this bronzer on me. Can you see how orange it's looking? And obviously with my red hair it does me no favours, but I'll be damned if I'm going to get rid of it when I've hit so much pan. I don't know if I've got... No, that's blush brush. So let me get my brush that I blend out with. Yeah, so it's definitely not the right shade for me anyway. So my friend Naomi bought this bronzer. I think she likes it. Let me know in the comments, Naomi, how you like it. I think she does. I mean, blended in it doesn't look too bad, but not blended in it looks orange on me, and I don't like an orange bronzer. I go in with a powder anyway over the top. Apparently they changed the formula. Now this is supposed to be a universal bronzer. It does say Bronze Universal on the back. How can it be? How can it be for people with really deep skin to use that as a bronzer? It wouldn't show up, would it? Or am I just missing the point here? Because that was one of the questions when I bought it. I asked, and she said, oh, it suits every skin tone. And I'm thinking, really? How can it? Oh, I want to put a bit on my nose, and this is where I always go a bit ham. So yeah, let's just put a tiny bit on. That looks okay actually. Now we're done with that. Now what I'll do is I'll go in with a powder, and then I like to kind of like chisel it out a bit. So for powder we're going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow, and I think I'm going to use the highlighter as well. You can see the highlighter hasn't had as much love. Nearly done with the bronzer. This is another product I never really got into. I bought this one off a selling site, and okay, right, I'll put that back in there for a minute. So the powder I'm using to kind of chisel it out is the Essence All About Matte. The lid finally broke on it, guys. And that's something I don't like about Essence products. It's cheap packaging, but for the most part, I do really like Essence. This is good for this, and for the under eye as well. Which I haven't used any powder under the under eye, so I'm glad I didn't pay the full price for it. Now, they brought out the travel size one, and I think it's really good that they have brought out travel size one, because it takes a long time to get through a bronzer and a highlight like that. So yeah, I'm really glad that they brought out like kind of smaller sizes. Everyone loves it. Again, not sure I'm a fan of it, and I don't think I'll buy it again. I was just saying yesterday to my friend Karen, I feel like Charlotte Tilbury products are overhyped. I really do. We'll just put some of this under the eye. I've noticed when I'm filming videos like this on camera, I forget to do things, I forget steps, yet when I do it by myself, I don't forget at all. So, I think I'm trying to hurry it up a bit when I'm filming with you guys. I don't want the videos to drag on. Now we are going to go in with my eyeshadow base, which I only use a tiny bit, and it should be enough for both eyes. Right, so next up is brows. And I'm not doing much with them today, guys. All I'm doing is combing them out and putting some brow gel through them. Normally I use brow powder, but I really can't be bothered with that today. So this is the Natural Collection Tinted Brow Gel. The only thing I don't like about it is the thickness of the spoolie. So you've got to be really careful with it. I feel like they could have made that spoolie a lot thinner. Trying to fluff them out a bit. Okay, so that's good. Then we're going to go in with blush. Some people do highlight then blush. I do blush then highlight. So I've got two here. They're both Project Pan. So we've got this Jo & Jo angled brush. So I'm going to go in with the Too Faced one first. It's the Too Faced Love Flush in Love Hangover. So it's just a peach coloured one. Okay, so that's that one done, and then we're going to go in with the Nars. Right, so as I was saying, then we're going to go in with the Nars Orgasm, and I've hit pan on this, which I'm really surprised at. It is getting slightly bigger. I've not used it that much over the course of the month. I did say I wasn't going to show you items, but yeah, products that I'm happy I've hit pan on, I will show you. So every time I use it, I'm just going to go over where I've hit pan and hopefully expand the pan a bit. But blushes take so darn long to really see any difference, even once you've hit pan. Now I just want to get a brush, then I kind of blend everything out, because as you can see we're looking a bit cray cray. Let's go in with a bit more powder. That's better. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wet this, and we're going to see how it works with cream products. Okay, so I've done it. It's gotten quite big, but it's no way a foundation beauty blender. It's definitely more cream and blush products. So I might bring a cream blush into Project Pan, but this is definitely kind of Project Pan, so we'll just use it with this for now. That's the shade. It's in the shade Gold. So let's just see how well it does. Can't see it on the sponge, so I'm just putting loads on. Yeah, it's working. I think it's more for creams, so I'll probably use this more for cream. You can see it on my nose really, it's done a good job there. And then I just normally put a bit down here. Right, okay, so that's that done. So now we're going to go in with a powder highlight, guys. It's just the same, from the same palette that we used the bronzer. So it's the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter. And I don't love it, and I feel like the reason I don't love it is because it's not one of those highlighters where they can see you in space, which is kind of the ones that I like. It's very subtle. So we're just gonna put that where we put the cream. Okay, I think that's it. I think it's just eyeshadow now and eyes really. Yeah. Right, let's put all these brushes in here. So today we are going to be using this palette here. It's got all my Makeup Geek shadows in it. I brought it in a couple of months ago as a Project Pan eyeshadow palette, and I've just not used it. So we'll be using it together, and I feel like I need to test these two out, these duochromes. I feel like they're kind of going bad, and if they're going bad, they're going to come out of this palette, because what's the point in working on something that's gone bad? I still can't find my Too Faced chocolate bar, so I'm going to go in with this all over the lid. It's Virgin. This is just as old as the Too Faced chocolate bar, and that's why I'm using that. Right, so it's called Virgin. It's going to go all over the lid to set that base. It's a little bit darker. That's why I was looking for the Too Faced chocolate bar, but can't seem to find that. Right, that's done. Right, so these mats are quite dark. I need browns to go with these kind of like olive colours. These shades here aren't the right tone. So those three, so these two here, and I think that one's called Steampunk, would go really nicely. I think that's too dark, so I might just go in with a shade from this Naked palette first. And I might just go in with Naked first. Just run that through the socket. Okay, I think that's it for that palette, because I want to concentrate more on this Makeup Geek palette really. So now we're gonna, I might mix both of those brown matte shades there and see what happens. And I haven't used these Makeup Geek eyeshadows in such a long time, guys. So, yeah. We're going to find out together how I feel. The brush that I'm using is probably something from eBay. It doesn't have a name on it or anything, so I can't tell you. Put that into the outer V as well. And that's what I'll be doing. So I've basically tapped into both shades down at the bottom, and that's what I'll be doing for the lash line as well. It's just going to be a really simple look to see how I feel about the shadows, guys. There's nothing too extravagant today. Fairly neutral, and I was just saying the other day how I don't really like neutral eyeshadows anymore, but this is going to be fairly neutral, I think. Even with a neutral lip, because it's the Project Pan lipstick, the Dior one. Yeah, I like the look of that. And then it's just a case of going in with both these. So that for the inner corner, I best tell you the names. Karma. And then the darker shade, which I definitely think's got hard pan on it at the very least, Ritzy. And that one's more of an olive, like green gold. So we'll use the other side of the Urban Decay brush from the Naked palette, and we'll go in with this first. I probably need to spritz them, but I just want to see what the formula's like and whether to keep them or not. Right, so I'm going to do this to about the centre, the lighter shade, and then the other shade, Ritzy, will go to the outer section of the eye. Definitely do feel like I need to spritz some just to make them more pigmented. Okay, let's do the other shade. So we're going in with Ritzy now. Shame about Makeup Geek going out of business, wasn't it? Oh, nearly dropped the palette. I don't think they've gone bad, but I don't think they're far off. The mattes are alright. Let's spritz the brush and see if we can get them a little bit more pigmented. Start off with Karma first, the darker one. I do want to get 4 or 5 different looks with this palette before I declutter it. If I declutter it, that is. Spritz the brush again, going with that lighter Karma shade. Yeah, that looks nice. Right, I'm going to just blend it out with this brush here. I think it's come from a W7 palette. Right, that's good. Then I'm going to go back in with the Urban Decay brush. Same side, I've wiped all the excess colour off, and we are going to go in with both those shades again. And I'm going to have to use a different palette for highlighter. What I'll do is I'll use that cream highlighter we used on the face. So let's get these out. Just gives me a chance to use this a little bit more. Okay, so that's that done, and then what I want to do is I want to go back in with Virgin, or shall I use Sin? Yeah, let's use Sin at this one here. Oh, that's nice. It's more of a pinky highlighter, but I think it looks nice. Okay, then we need mascaras. So we're going to use the Perfect Pairing. So going in with the Lash Princess first. got a bit of mascara here. Then we're going to use the False Lashes mascara, which I absolutely love. I don't actually think this is an everyday look because we've used the duochromes. It looks pretty glam, I think. Making the mascara worse. Right, lipstick, and then we're done. And I've not used this much either this month. I think this is the first time I've used it. So it's the same. I'll just show you. It's the same as last month. Right guys, so this is the overall look. Let me know your thoughts guys, I would really appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe and share, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.